Hey guys, it's Kylie. This is KH Tutorials, and today I'm doing a voiceover on this look right here. So I have very not natural look. I've got a pink crease going on with some bright blue on the lid, a little bit of contouring, a little bit of a bright lip. I wanted to do something different today. Enjoy! Alright guys, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Tarte Shape Tape and I'm going to put that on my eyelids as an eyeshadow base. And I'm just going to blend that in using my L'Oreal sponge. From here I'm just going to take a cream colored eyeshadow to set the Tarte Shape Tape. Now I'm just going to take the Jaclyn Hill palette and I'm going to use this transition shade here and just build that up in the crease a little bit. Now I'm going to take the Modern Renaissance palette using this mauve shade and I'm going to work that into the crease right on top of where I put that transition shade. Taking that same palette, I'm going to use this shade. I'm going to go in the crease and build that up a little bit, and we really want to get that pink to show up. I'm going to use a smaller brush and take this color and blend that a little lower into the crease. After that, I'm going to go in with the same fluffy brush we used before with no additional product and just blend out the crease a little bit so it's a little smoother. Then going back in with that lighter pink color and blending out the crease even more. Here I'm just wiping off a little excess product so our brush is a little cleaner. And using that brush, going into this shade in the Urban Decay Electric palette, and we're going to blend above where we have been so we get a nice gradual fade from the crease to the brow bone. From here I'm going to go back in with the Jaclyn Hill palette and take this deep red color and keep that very low in the crease, but don't bring it down too far onto the lid. We want to leave the lid pretty bare. Also, with that red color, we really want to focus it on the outer V. Next, going back to the vibrant pink in the Urban Decay Electric palette, we're just going to re-blend the crease and make sure there are no harsh lines. Next, I'm going to take the Tarte Shape Tape and a small brush and I'm going to cut the eyelid, but I'm only going to bring the concealer about halfway across the lid and then I'm going to stop. And with this, you really want to take your time and just do little strokes and build it up until you get the shape you want. Next, I'm going to go in with the Jaclyn Hill palette again and I'm going to take this nice blue color. And at first I tried to use a brush to tap that in right over the concealer, but I found that using my finger actually worked better in terms of pigmentation. But I wasn't too happy with how that was showing up, so I went into the Urban Decay Electric palette and used this blue shade and patted that on with a brush, and that came out much more pigmented and really got the color I was looking for. Then I went in with the NYX glitter glue and with my finger I just tapped that right on top of the center of the lid, right where I just put the blue, and I went back in with the Jaclyn Hill palette, rubbed that on top of the glitter glue, and I got a lot more pigment and the shimmer I was looking for. Next, I went back in with a brush and that darker pink color from the Anastasia palette just to blend out the edges a little bit. Going back to the Jaclyn Hill palette, I'm taking this deep purple and I'm just going to tap that with a brush on the outer corner of the lid. Now I'm going to take that fluffy brush we used before. I'm not going to put any more product on it and I'm just going to blend the edges because right now we've got a lot of harsh lines that we don't want. Now with a different brush that's a little denser, we're going to take that purple again and do the exact same thing. Just tap it on the outer corner of the eye and blend it so it's nice and melded with the blue. And back to the Anastasia palette, I'm taking the darker purple color on that big fluffy brush and just blending out the crease a little more. Then I ended up going back to that shimmery blue in the Jaclyn Hill palette and tapping a little more onto the lid just because I'd lost some of the color in the blending. Back in the Urban Decay palette, I'm going to take that blue and with a brush, tap it right where the dark purple and the shimmer meet, so that there's not another harsh line there, and this is really gonna help it, not look natural, but like it blended. It's gonna look blended. Then going back with the purple, just gonna tap that in the outer corner to make sure that we didn't lose everything when we tapped that blue in. And then again, going back in with that lighter pink and the fluffy brush and just blending out the corners, making sure that everything is nice and smooth. Okay, we're almost done with the eyes. I'm going to take a tiny bit of the black from the Jaclyn Hill palette and tap it into the outer V to just add a little more definition and depth. And before I moved on from the eyes, I took a cotton round and just wiped off all of the excess fallout, and then I moved on to brows. And for brows, I just took a NYX pencil and filled them in and then spoolied it through. And for the face, I went in with the Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade 102. And at first, I went in with a Real Techniques brush, and then for the second layer, to build up more coverage, I went in with a sponge. Next, I took the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer and used that on the high points of my face. And because it's a little bit darker than my foundation, I also mixed it with the LA Girl Pro foundation in the color white so that I could get my perfect highlight shade. And I blended all of that in with my L'Oreal sponge. To set everything, I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me powder in the color 05 Fair, and I'm going to put that all over the face with the big fluffy powder brush. Before we go in and do the lower lash line, I'm going to take my L'Oreal sponge and a little bit of that powder and put some excess powder under the eyes, so that way, if any of the shadows have any fallout, it won't ruin our face. Using the Modern Renaissance palette and taking that lighter pink color, I'm going to use a small but fluffy brush and just fluff that along the lower lash line. Taking that bright pink from the Urban Decay palette and using a similar brush, I'm just going to fluff that even farther down along the lower lash line. And going back to the Jaclyn Hill palette, I'm just going to take that purple again and touch up the outer corners. Using a really small detailer brush, I'm going to go back into the Urban Decay palette and use that bright blue to line the waterline. Going back into that purple, I'm just going to use a small brush and go very close to the lower lash line, but not into the waterline. Next, I'm going to take the Kat Von D tattoo liner in black and add a small wing for a little more definition. Next, I'm going to take the black from the Jaclyn Hill palette and tightline. Since we're all done with the eyes, I'm going to wipe off the excess powder, and off camera, I'm going to apply mascara and lashes. Next, I'm going to go in with the Mill shade of the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm going to use that to contour. And with that same shade, but a big fluffy brush, I'm just going to swirl that around my face to add a little more color. I'm going to use this shade from the ABH Nicole Guerrero collab to highlight my cheeks. Now taking a smaller brush, I'm going to highlight my brow bone with that same color. Taking an even smaller brush, I'm going to use that pink shade to highlight my inner corners. Taking this shade from the Tarte Blush Bazaar, I'm going to go in and put a little color on my cheeks. For lips, first I'm going to go in with the Spice Lip Pencil by MAC, and then I'm going to go in with a pink color by Kat Von D. I'm not sure what the name of it is, the sticker fell off, but I'm going to apply that. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Press the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I post a new video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!